Hey, what's up everybody, this is Garrett back again with another video, and today we're going to be doing my review of the Samsung Galaxy S10e. I've been using this phone for over a month now, and I'm going to give you my impressions, some specs, and what I hate about it, what I like about it. This is being recorded on the front-facing camera, by the way, of the Samsung Galaxy S10e, so stick around, don't go anywhere. What's going on there, YouTube? Garrett back again with my review of the Samsung Galaxy S10e. Thank you guys for joining me today. And today I'm just going to be going over some of the specs of the device, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. There's not a lot of things that I do not like about this device. I really like it a lot. So let's go ahead and jump down into it. So this is the Samsung Galaxy S10e. This is the cheaper version. Samsung released 3 different variants of the S10 this year: the S10e, the S10, and the S10 Plus. S10 and the S10 Plus are the bigger devices. The S10e is the smaller device, coming in at 5.8-inch display. This is a flat display, as you can see right there. I prefer this over a curved display. Yeah, sure, curved display looks sexier, but as far as accidental touches and everything, you do not get that on a flat display. The display is a 5.8-inch dynamic AMOLED display. It comes in as a resolution at 1080p by 2280, I believe. Got my little cheat sheet over here, and it's got 438 pixels per inch. So it's a really nice display. Probably the best 1080p displays I've ever seen on a smartphone. The OnePlus 6T had a 1080p display, and it was also AMOLED, but this one is just really nice. Samsung knocked it out of the park. You can't tell that it is a 1080p display unless you hold it up against the S10 or the S10 Plus, and it's really nice. Colors are bright and punchy, blacks are deep. Really nice contrast, color accuracy. When you first get out of the box, it'll be in natural mode, but you can change that to vivid mode, which is what I have it on, and I have my brightness all the way up. Outdoor visibility is excellent. You have to turn up the brightness all the way. If you have an auto brightness, of course it'll do it on its own, but you can still read everything outdoors on this device. So it's not as bright as the other 2 variants, but it still gets bright enough. It is covered in Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and on the back, and it does support HDR10 Plus, so that is really nice. Of course, it'll be 1080p. The body, as far as specs goes and dimensions, is 5.60 inches tall, 2.75 wide, and 0.31 inches thick. So it is a very slim device. The battery isn't that big, so it is a very slim device, really nice to hold in the hand, and it is very small and compact. I'll get to that later. It's running Android 9 Pie out of the box with Samsung's One UI on top, and to me this is Samsung's best user interface ever. TouchWiz was shit. Samsung experience, it's still a little bit laggy, but One UI is the best Samsung One UI overhaul ever on their devices. Of course, they got this on the S9, S8, Note 8, and they're even thinking about putting it on the S7s as well. But this is really nice. Samsung knocked it out of the park over here. You got your gestures, you got your night mode, all across the field as far as your settings go, and all your apps, your browser. You got night mode on there, you got themes. You just got a whole bunch of different options on here, gestures, and a whole bunch of features, you know, that you have on this device. Samsung packs it in. You have your edge display, which I have disabled, but it brings up a little edge panel on here, so you can have different shortcuts and stuff. Really nice. It's got the Snapdragon 855 processor. There is a base model which is 6 gigabytes at 128 gigabyte storage. That one runs you about $750. The version I got here is the 8 gigabyte model at 256 gigabytes of internal storage, with micro SD card expansion up to 512 gigabytes as well. And this one is about $100 more, so it'll be about $850 if you want to upgrade the RAM and the storage. Six gigabytes is probably enough, but I can tell you that the performance on this device has been excellent. One of the fastest phones, or Samsung phones, that I've used ever. Like 8 gigabytes of RAM is overkill, and this thing flies. This thing will handle anything you throw at it. I don't play a lot of games, but if you did, no problem here whatsoever running, multitasking and taking pictures and listening to music and watching videos and texting and all of that stuff. This phone is just killer fast. Downloading speeds are crazy. This is a really, really fast phone. You won't be disappointed. It's got the Adreno 640 GPU on here. And as far as cameras go, you got 2 cameras on the back compared to 3 on the S10 and the S10 Plus. This is just missing the telephoto lens, but the main sensor is 12 megapixel dual aperture, f1.5 and f2.4. It switches depending on your lighting, so it'll open up that aperture a little bit more to let more light in at night, and night pictures come out pretty good with that. And if you're out in daylight, it'll close it back up to f2.4. The second is a 16 megapixel ultra wide camera, which is new to Samsung. Usually they just include the telephoto, and that is f2.2 ultra wide. And both of these cameras record at 4K 60 frames per second. If you do that on the wide, you do not get the video stabilization. Just keep that in mind. But you do get it on the front, on the regular sensor. The front-facing camera is a 10 megapixel. Comes in at f1.9 as far as aperture over here on the front. This is Samsung's new display called the Infinity O display, to where it has the camera hole punch out for the camera on the front, and you can record up to 4K 30 frames per second on the front camera, which is a first for a smartphone. Usually they do 1080p at maybe 60 or 30 frames per second. You do have optical image stabilization, of course, and all of that stuff. As far as sound goes, it does have Dolby audio, which is really, really nice. You get a whole bunch of different types of audio modes. You get movie, you get music, you get video, voice, and it sounds really, really good when you have this switched on, when you're listening to speakers or the headphone jack if you got headphones plugged in there. This does have stereo speakers, which is nice. It has the earpiece up here, which doubles as the second speaker, and then you also have your bottom firing speaker down here, which work together. You get more of your highs up here and then more of your lows down here. It does have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which is really, really cool. A lot of phones don't have that anymore. And it does come with headphones that are tuned by AKG, and speakers on here are also tuned by AKG as well. The battery is a 3100 milliamp hour battery, and battery life is pretty good. It'll get you through a full day barely. I know through an 8-hour day at work, I leave work at about 50%, and that's what listening to music all night, streaming music, texting, one phone call, Snapchatting and stuff like that. Usually I'll have it plugged in, and as soon as I unplug it, like a couple minutes later, it's at 99, and then another several minutes go by, it's at 98, and it just almost like if I'm watching the battery just go down slowly before my eyes. I don't know if it's just my device or if I have something running in the background, but battery life is okay. I would have preferred a bigger battery, but it is a smaller one. It is a cheaper one. They are going to skip out on several different features. It does offer the reverse wireless charging on the back here, so if you turn it on, you can charge your smartwatch or your Galaxy Buds. I wouldn't recommend charging a smartphone just because it's too slow for that, and you do have a smaller battery, so it will drain the battery quicker. But it does work. You have to sort of place it on a certain spot in order for it to work, especially for my smartwatch. It's a little finicky. The Galaxy Buds, they charge pretty quick, maybe because my watch is old. I am not sure. It does have a side-mounted fingerprint sensor, which the other two devices have the in-display fingerprint sensor, and I find this fingerprint sensor to be a lot more quicker and more reliable to unlock the device. I know a lot of people have been having problems with their device as far as the in-display fingerprint sensor on the S10 and S10 Plus, as far as it not reading it or just not unlocking the device fast enough. I can tell you that this one is really, really fast. It is a little small and doesn't really have too much of a haptic feedback when unlocking your device. If you have a case on it, it'll be a little bit hard to get to because it's so recessed, but it is definitely fast. You also have facial recognition on here as well. So if you unlock your phone, boom, it works really, really nice and fast. You also have this cool animation on your camera cutout when it does come on. So that's really, really nice. I use facial recognition a lot, more than the fingerprint sensor, and it's really, really fast and accurate. It's a 2D facial recognition, so it's not as secure as a 3D, but I really don't have any issue of anybody trying to hack my phone. Unless you're a celebrity or some shit, I think you'll be okay. Yeah, facial recognition, Bluetooth 5.0 on here, so you get excellent Bluetooth quality. You do have the dual audio on there to where you can connect two different Bluetooth devices at once, and you do have a wider range as far as Bluetooth connectivity. I believe you have like a 200 feet distance before it starts cutting out on you. But that's really, really cool. You also get Wi-Fi 6 on here, which is supposed to be faster Wi-Fi. I don't know if it depends on the router you're using, but it does give you faster Wi-Fi on here. It's one of the first devices to have Wi-Fi 6. Most of them, I think, it's 5.0. It does support HDR10 Plus when it's recording, and when the display as well. Of course, when you watch stuff on a display, it'll max out at 1080p, and that's one of my things that I have, is that it does max out at 1080p when you're watching YouTube videos. But it does record HDR10 Plus. You just got to go into your camera settings, and once you're in your settings, you go to advanced recording options, and you could have HDR10 Plus enabled on there. It'll do up to 4K 30 frames per second, not 60 frames per second, so keep that in mind when you do enable it. It does have an always-on display, which is really, really nice and really, really customizable as well. You could adjust the colors, the different clocks, what you want on there. You get notifications on here as well, so it's really, really cool. The colors, this does come in a lot of colors. It comes in a couple different colors than the S10, I believe, or it might be the same, but these colors are just a lot more fun as far as, you know, tinting the camera around here, tinting the frame. It's just more of a fun play phone, I guess, look, you know, to it. This is the Prism Blue. It comes in Prism White, Prism Black, Prism Green, and Canary Yellow, and Flamingo Pink as well. Really, really nice colors. Samsung knocked it out of the park this year with their colors. I really like the Prism Blue. It's shiny. It's very reflective. It is a fingerprint magnet like hell. You get fingerprints all over this. But slap a case on there, you should be alright. And it's really, really nice. The screen is not curved, as you can see. It is very, very flat. It curves very little on the edges. And then you have like a little piece of plastic. I guess it's like a bumper between the screen and the metal frame, which is really cool. So if you drop it, it has a little bit more protection. It has that little bumper in there, that plastic layer to protect it. The back isn't as curved either as the his big brothers, so it is a little bit easier to hold in the hand. You get more frame. It's not as slippery, and with the form factor too is easier to hold in the hand. You do not get accidental presses when you're holding it, you know, landscape or watching videos or stuff like that. You do not get the accidents such as you would on a curved display like on the S10 and S10 Plus. Curved displays, they look sexy and all, they look cool, but you do get that accidental touches. So this one, I don't mind it at all. I do mind that it is 1080p, and when I'm watching YouTube videos, they cap out at 1080p. So if I wanted to watch something that's in 4K, you can't do that. As far as looking at it, you can't tell the difference. It's a beautiful display. Of course, you know, Samsung makes some of the best displays in the world. You can only tell the difference if you hold it up against an S10 or S10 Plus, as far as being sharper and stuff like that. But when you're just using the device every day, you will not notice it's a 1080p display. One of the best, like I said, on the market for a smartphone display. Things I like about it, I love the design. I love the Infinity O punch display. It's very new, it's fresh. It just looks so futuristic rather than a notch. Samsung really did a good implementation of the camera hole cutout on here. It just looks very, very just new. You know, you see a lot of smartphones that have the notch. They just all look the same. This one looks really, really nice and just, I guess, more future dated or something. It's just really, really nice, feature safe design. It's got an excellent build quality. You got your aluminum frame, which is shiny and glossy, and it's tinted towards the color of your device as well. It feels good in the hand. It is a little bit small for me. I prefer phones that are 6.1, 6.4 inches. You know, I'm used to just bigger phones, so it is a little small. It takes a little getting used to, but it does feel good in the hand, and you do have real good one-handed usability as far as reaching up to the top and across the device, and it feels excellent in your pocket. The fingerprint sensor is one thing that's a little gripey. It's a little too high up for me, and it is a little bit recessed as far as pushing it in, but that's really no big deal. The Bixby button, you could remap it to open up something else like your camera, which is definitely a lot better than accidentally pushing it and getting Bixby. Other than that, there's really not a lot of stuff that I do not like about this device. I believe the charging is Quick Charge 2.0, which is a little bit of a downgrade from the S10 and S10 Plus. I believe they use 3.0, but other than that, it still charges fast. You do get wireless charging on here as well, as you know, and it is fast wireless charging too, so keep that in mind. Really, really nice phone. Not too many complaints other than the form factor. Stereo speakers sound excellent. This is one of the best sounding smartphones when you're listening to videos and listening to music. It gets really, really loud, so no problems there. So it's a really, really nice phone. Really not that many complaints other than the form factor and the display. You're missing out on a camera on the back, but it's a telephoto lens. Don't really use that anyways. I prefer a wide angle. So that's not a big deal. The fingerprint sensor, it'll be cool to have it underneath the display, but as far as going on, what a lot of people are starting to say now is just real finicky. This is just more reliable, and just, you know, unlocking the display or your phone, it's just more reliable with that capacitive fingerprint sensor. Yeah, it's old technology. It is in a weird spot. Would have preferred it in the back, but it still works a lot better, I'm assuming, than the in-display fingerprint sensor. My wife has the S10, and she doesn't seem to be complaining about it unless she's just not complaining about it. But yeah, fingerprint sensor, no problems here. I just wish it would have been a bigger device. The battery, I wish it could be a bigger battery as well, maybe. But there's really not a lot to hate about this device. It's fast, it's smooth, the colors are nice, it's got an excellent display. You got a headphone jack, you got stereo speakers, your IP68 water and dust resistance, you know, as well. You could drop this in a, you know, in your toilet, you'll be all right. You could take it in the shower with you if you like to, you know, be on the phone while you're in the shower, you know, cooking on it. You'll be all right. You accidentally drop it in, you know, in the pool, you'll be okay. It's a really, really nice device. You won't have any complaints here. $750 for the base model. If you up it to the 8GB, it's $100 more. Another thing you're also missing on here is the heart rate sensor on the back and the blood pressure sensor that is on the other two variants. You do not have it on here, so they did cut costs a little bit on it, but other than that, it's a great device. You got full screen gestures as far as going back and home and your recents. Really, really nice, customizable. You won't be disappointed with this device, so check it out. So with that being said, guys, I think that's all I got on this device. If you got any comments, leave them down below. I appreciate any feedback that you got on here. Don't forget to hit that little notification bell for future content on my videos. Don't forget to subscribe too. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Thumbs down if you didn't. That's okay. And like I said, don't forget to subscribe. If you got any questions, comment down below. If you like this device, if you don't, if you're thinking about getting it still, if you didn't get it. But yeah, this has been my review of the Samsung Galaxy S10e. So Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.